Padres are at the end of an unbelievable haul. 18 games in 18 days. They played the Detroit Tigers Monday, Labor Day holiday. Then they get a day off. Scheduling's been brutal. At one stretch where they played 27 games in 28 days. I just don't understand why the union, why management allows this to happen, not just to the Padres, but to anybody. The burning question right there, can they catch the Dodgers? Padres grinded through the heat and the humidity of St. Louis, which was atrocious. Then they played in that weird building, that Tropicana Field Sundome, and they struggled there. They finally came away. They're 5 games out of first place, tied with the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Dodgers are staggering again, and just when you think the Dodgers are going to run away, the Dodgers hit a real rough spot in the road. So here's the Padres storyline, and there's lots of different angles that we're going to discuss just very briefly since the Padres are the team in town. They've just been unbelievable on the road. They have the second best record in Major League Baseball on the road, 41-29. Got to be concerned, though. Michael King has now thrown 155 innings. It's like he's hit a physical wall. Dylan Cease, wildness has returned. He looks really fatigued to me. And the first thing that goes with a pitcher that's really tired are his mechanics, his legs, his location with the glove and the ball. Elias Diaz, I think this is a good rental acquisition, catcher, some power. They'll work him into a 2-man rotation or maybe a 3-man rotation. I did not realize this till this morning. Luis Campusano is the 29th rated, second worst defensive catcher in all of Major League Baseball. Yu Darvish seems like he's close to going to the rotation, John Riley. He threw 4 innings, 66 pitches, didn't have any physical setbacks, but that was against the Cincinnati Reds rookies in the Summer League in Rookie League ball in Arizona. I don't know if he needs a rehab start. I think they still got to get his pitch count up because I don't know that 66 non-stressful pitchers against 18-year-olds is really a true test. Randy Vasquez gets sent back to the minor leagues with apologies. Everybody's got to have a 5th starter, and everybody's 5th starter gets lit up, and he got lit up down in Tampa Bay. That 4-inning, 9-run, 11-hit outing was bad. This was a surprise signing. The ex-Giant, Arizona, and Dodgers shortstop Nick Ahmed signs with the Padres. Now, he's gone to El Paso. If there's an injury setback to Hassan Kim, I think Ahmed will come back up here. So I think Diaz, the catcher, Ahmed, those are pretty good insurance policy acquisitions. And I'm not going to say I told you so when they made that trade deadline deal to get Martin Perez. Here we go. He pitched poorly for the Pirates, pitched poorly for Texas. He had 2 decent starts out of the gate for the Padres. And since then, 13 innings, 8 runs allowed, 25 base runners. He's regressed to what he was before I told you so. So the Padres starting rotation, a little wear and tear here, a little bit frayed, especially with the innings issues with King and Cease not looking like the vintage no-hit Dylan Cease. So that's where my theory is now as they open this homestand with the Tigers and the Giants before they go back out on the road. They're 5 back. That's a bit of a hill still to run up.
You love saying, I told you so, don't you? Don't you?
When you know, you know.
When you know. So, as far as the Padres are going, the Luis Campusano thing is just kind of weird, because we always knew that defensively it was his shortcoming. And then during the, we always thought of him as an offensive catcher, but he's not producing offensively. Isn't his batting average is like right around the Mendoza line?
Yeah, when I was a shade above, it was 239. But he had a stretch, he was hitting 043.
Yeah.
But the bigger issue to me is just the defensive lapses. Doesn't throw a lot of guys out on the bases.
Mm-hmm.
And there's pass balls going to the backstop and stuff that he can't block or doesn't get blocked or mechanically doesn't handle pitches in the dirt very consistently. So Diaz is more of a veteran guy, and Diaz has got some power. Diaz is not going to hit 043 like Campusano did early in the season. So there's just a bunch of issues with the completeness of Campusano's games. And, he's caught a bunch. And luckily we got, here's Shioka, who I think has had an unbelievable year coming from the New York Yankees. And the Yankees probably wish they still had him because they got their own set of catching problems. So I think the acquisition of Diaz helps a great deal. But this Padre team, I'm not saying they're running on fumes, but they're not playing as good right now as they need to be playing if they have hopes of chasing down the Dodgers. And, Atlanta is right behind him now in the rearview mirror because Atlanta's starting to get healthy. And the Braves have made up a lot of ground here. And the Braves, I think, are only 2 back of the Padres. And the other thing, most everybody in this wild card race has games in hand on the Padres. The Padres have played more games than anybody else in this National League wild card chase. So things here I think you got to pay attention to.
Well, it's just the natural wear and tear of your pitching rotation as the season goes on. It doesn't surprise me that Vasquez kind of washes in, washes out. But Dylan Cease is an interesting guy because in the game on what game did he pitch? It was it Friday or Saturday or was it Sunday?
Sunday.
It was Sunday's game.
Threw 10 balls in a row.
He did, but had a perfect game through the first 3. And so I think to your point is that he is tiring, and it seemed like when he got to the 5th or the 6th, things got a little squirrely for him. So yeah, it might be a tiring issue, but he still looks good. And if you're in the playoffs and you have a Dylan Cease as one of your 3 or 4 guys, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but if you have a Dylan Cease and Michael King and both are gassed because of the innings, the volume that they've pitched, please understand this. You're not playing the White Sox or the Pirates in postseason.
Yeah.
If it's a wild card round, you're playing somebody legitimate with legitimate batting order. I'd be worried about that right now. Now, the Padres, they're going to have 5 off days in the month of September, which is kind of unique. So that maybe they'll be able to take a deep breath, but they do need innings because the bullpen's starting to show a little wear and tear too.
Well, they're 5 games back of the Dodgers. I mean, that's the headline. Can they catch the Dodgers? I'd be interested in seeing the statistics on this because they have 5 off games. I mean, they'd probably have to win 80% of the games going away, assuming the Dodgers probably went something like 500.
Yeah, then Dodgers are scuffling right now with injuries, but the Dodgers aren't giving ground. The Dodgers, up until what happened yesterday, Dodgers had won 16 of 21. And that's with this mess of injuries and Freddie Freeman being out. 16 to 21. So I don't know that the Dodgers are giving ground. The Padres just have to make sure they don't slip back and have Atlanta catch them, because you surely don't want to finish 3rd in a wild card race because, pal, you're going on the road.
Oh, yeah. No, remember they had to do that 2 years ago, and that's a tough assignment.
Yeah. So that's where we are with Padre baseball. Hey, Friar fan, join us in Fans Forum. Jump into the chat box right now.